Okay, so I'm going to open up Enterprise Manager here, and I'm going to see if I can get my slide and everything on the same screen. Just a second. I'm just going to use Windows Authentication since I'm still on the same server. Okay, so I'm going to add a model database. So I'm just going to go ahead and right-click here. Does that look okay every time? Yes. Okay, and I'm just going to give this a name. Enter my server, SQL server information. And then I'm going to select my model server, or my model database. Now, before I started this presentation, I just restored the model backup, or the backup of the model database that we give with the application. It's called the bike model. Okay, so that's what's available now. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my output database. Okay, again, this is the Syteline application database. Okay, and what this is going to do, it's just going to add the by design tables and store procedures into your existing Syteline application database. Okay, so we're just going to go through those steps. So we do the same thing. I'm going to right-click on Outputs and go Add. And I'm going to give it the name of my Syteline database, which in this case is Syteline App Demo. And I just like to keep these names consistent with what the database is, so as I'm looking in Enterprise Manager, I know which database I'm looking at. Again, I'm just going to give it connection information. Okay, and now I'm going to click in the drop-down. Now it's telling me there are no output databases, so there's no output databases on the SQL Server. Would I like to create a new one? Yes. So again, it's going to create a new output database, but all we're going to do is add the tables and store procedures to your existing Syteline application database. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Yes. Okay, I'm going to check Use Existing Database. And then I'm going to select my Syteline application database. Okay, and once I click OK, it's going to add all of those tables and store procedures, etc. into that database. Okay, so now we've added a model database. We've added our output database, okay, or added those tables and such to the Syteline application database. And now we're going to create an application to link those together. Okay, and the name of this application is important because we're gonna put this in the Syteline inventory parameters form, and we need to make sure that the name that we input there matches the name that we just created in Enterprise Manager. Okay, so it should be done, and so we'll go and create that application here. Okay, and I'm just going to call this bike applications. Select the model server that I just created, and my Syteline output server. Okay, so now I have an application called bike application. I'm just going to copy that and put it in a text file, just so I don't have to type it in here the next few steps. Okay, so our next step is we're going to install the adapter extensions. Okay, and we do this using a tool called the Extension Manager. Remember, I talked about that a little earlier. Okay, so what this is going to do, it's going to query the metadata database that we created for that application that we just created, the bike application. It's going to look which model database and which output databases were defined, and it's going to bring those up. Okay, and once it brings it up, it's going to allow us to install the extensions into the output database and into the model database. Okay, so I went about a little too quick there. That was all programs, by design 6.0, configurator, adapter for ERP SL8, and then extension manager. Okay, so when this comes up, it has a default instance, or you can put an instance. The default instance should work. Okay, just click load databases. Okay, so again, it's just going to bring up those model and output databases that have been defined in an application. So if you remember, we just did the bike model and our Syteline app demo database. So I'm going to go ahead and install the extensions in the bike model. And then I'm going to go ahead and install the extensions into the Syteline database. Okay, so now you'll see that those are installed. Okay, and again, the bike model those are extensions to the manufacturing templates that allow us to write data to Syteline tables, and then the adapter is the actual store procedures and triggers that are used by the adapter. Okay. So that was step 5. Okay, our next step is we are going to run the client deployment wizard. And if you remember when I talked about this earlier, this is the tool or piece of the adapter that takes the files from the by design directories, the host services and instance file, and moves it to the configurator or the Syteline directories. Okay, and it moves it to 2 directories: Infor Syteline directory and C program files Infor Syteline SL client deployed add-ons directory. Okay, and there's a few things that we're going to have to input into this wizard. So I'll be jumping back into it for a little bit. So same location as the extension manager, by design 6.0, configurator, adapter for ERP SL8, client deployment wizard. Okay, and the first step is going to ask us for the location of the host services files. We're just going to browse out to C, program files, by design 6.0, configurator, host services. Okay, and then it's asking us for the location of the metadata instance file that we wrote during the configurator setup wizard. And that was C, program files, by design 6.0, configurator, server directory, and there it is, bydesign.config. Okay. So then the next thing it's going to do, it's going to ask us to add the location of the configurator. Okay, and what this tool is really doing, it's taking the location of the configurator that we're going to input, and it's putting it into that original bydesign.config instance file. Okay, and once it does that, then it's going to copy that data to the Syteline directory. So when a Syteline client calls a configurator, it's looking to that instance file for the location of the configurator. Okay, so the location of the configurator is right here. It's server name of the configurator, configurator 6.0 /configuration/config.asps. Okay, you'll find that in installation guide. I'm just going to copy it from here. Okay, and I'm just going to change this to my name my configurator server. Okay, and something I always like to do, I just like to copy this and put it in the IE and make sure that I didn't mistype it. Okay, and that's what I should get, because this is actually a service and it's expecting some data. Okay, so I know that it has the correct location of the configurator.